Let's get
Yep.
All right, so welcome back to the Be Like podcast. It's your boy K Sloan here with my dog.
Jay Jones still here.
Jay Jiggity still here, and I'll let the rest of the Be Like cast and our special guest today, because we have a special edition of the Be Like podcast today. But man, we got the brain. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people again. Mr.
Boy,
Nate
Nate
G.
G, man.
You feeling good today?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
He's here. Then we got the wise, the wop, and the wisdom. Mr. Lipton, go. If you know, you know. How you feeling today?
I'm feeling.
He's feeling.
Right.
And we feel you.
It's been
Pause.
a long day, but yeah.
Pause. But I'll let you two lovely young ladies introduce themselves. Brand new to the pod. Well, one is a returning face and one is a brand new face to the podcast. So welcome to the family. But we'll let our returning face go first and then our brand new one.
Thank you. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Niecy, Shanice. You can follow me online at Hopping Cooper, but I'm back. What's good with it?
Yeah.
Lord. Okay, my name's Shadai. Thank y'all for having us a part of the show. We definitely need some female perspective for this conversation today, okay? So y'all can follow me at Shadai.Renee on all social media platforms. You can follow us also at Queen Posse, where we talk about women empowerment and feminism. So there you go.
Let's go. I'm glad you said that because I was thinking like, okay, I didn't want to just run straight into it, but it looks like we straight into it. So we're going to live the questions to y'all, and then we're going to allow y'all to kind of respond, and then we'll get feedback as we roll with it. So let's talk about it. What is feminism? Because for me, I feel like I don't really understand it. Like I feel like there's a lot of people that call themselves feminists, and sometimes, there's a lot of kickback because people will say, well, it's not that, and it's this, and they'll get some, back and forth on it. So what do y'all ladies think feminism is? Like, what is it being a feminist? Like, what is that?
So for me, feminism is really about women's rights, right? We have came a long way as women, right? Women can vote, right? We didn't have that ability. Women can go out and get the same job and can be a CEO just like a man. But it's also about women's rights as far as physical, it's just like that, the ability of us having that equalization to a man. So that to me is what feminism is, standing up for women's rights and for their being.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely with women's rights and just bringing, I guess, shedding a light that women can also be good and do things that men can do, but also like, not to bring it up already, but the Me Too movement, like women abuse, like to shed light on things that we kind of brush under the rug. So I think women are just more so stepping up just to shed light on things that people kind of overlook. So it's kind of just empowering women to speak up and feel empowered to also go forward and move on.
I like that. Fellas, what y'all think? What y'all got? What y'all want to add to before I say what I got to say? Because I got a question.
Ask the question.
Well, my question is, all right, let's go ahead. All right, man.
Ask the question.
Hey, man, I'll break the ice. Look, my question is this: how come there's so many people that identify with themselves as feminists, but they hate men, though? You know what I'm saying? I'm talking just straight, don't like men, like do not like men to the point where it's like you can't even say anything. It's like, oh, usually a man should do this. It's like, no, like women could do that too. And it's like, well, hold up, like I'm just saying that this is what men normally do, or this is what men do, and then they'll like start going in, well, men do this, men do that. Like, why do y'all feel like there's so many situations where it'll be associated with like, I hate men? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't, because there's a lot of those. I mean, or maybe, I don't know, what do y'all think? I'm not gonna say that y'all believe what I believe, but what do y'all think? Do y'all feel like there's some of those out there, and where's that coming from?
Shanice, I'm gonna let you start this one.
I don't think women that are feminism or feminists hate men. Like I think men just kind of are sensitive and they just take it as like we're coming for them, or like women are coming for them, or no, we're just speaking up so you can see our side too. Like we just don't want to be left out. So it's not like it's not like a hate thing. It's just more so like we want you to understand too thing. But I don't know, like men emotions are a little different nowadays. So they probably take it as us being like overly aggressive. Y'all don't like women, or y'all don't like men. You know, y'all say y'all don't need us. Where it's like, we're not saying we don't need y'all because we still want y'all, but it's like y'all kind of give us that type of like, well, if you don't need me, then I don't want you. Like, it's just kind of weird. So it's like, we want to make sure that we're always going to be content and safe and have like ourselves together instead of just depending on a man. So we don't hate men. It's just, we're going to make sure that we're together also ourselves.
But Shanice, I'm gonna add, all right, so I'm gonna jump into this. When you say that, don't you feel like if you constantly telling me you don't need me, you don't need me, you don't need me, won't that eventually repel me from going to you?
It's not saying I don't need you. Like, why would a female constantly say that? I think a female will only say that if a man tries her, like, well, I'm gonna turn your phone off. Like, oh, okay, well, guess what? Let me go buy my own phone then. Because you want to do that. Like, I don't need you for this phone. Then, like, when you start trying to throw things in my face like that, that's when you're gonna get that type of attitude. But like, for instance, I'm a very dominant female, but I have no problem being submissive and like, I don't know, understanding a man's perspective and a man's side. Like, I'm not going to tell him every day I don't need him if he's doing good and just doing right. Like, I'm gonna give him compliments. But if he start doing that type of control and stuff, then it's like, hold on, like, I don't need that. Now you're going to get the I don't need you type of female to come out.
I want to add something onto that too. I think you do have two different type of women. You have a boss woman who is okay with men. And then you have women who have been through situations with so many men that it has started a negative type of energy. And I like to say, hurt people hurt people. You have men and you have women who are both in this cycle of hurting people. So you get these women that are to the point like, well, I don't need a man. I don't care about men, right? And it's a huge cycle. But it's really all about healing. You got to heal yourself to be able to be ready for that man. So just kind of, you know, what Shanice said, it really is, it's on that woman, but it's also about growth. Me personally, I can remember the old me being there before, right? But it took me time to figure out who I am as a woman and heal as a woman to know that I can't talk to a man like that, right? Because we are demasculating you as a man. For example, a man opens a door for you and a woman goes, I can do that myself. You don't have to open my door, right? That is demasculating our man. But at the same time, we just have to realize as women what we're doing, right? So I don't know. That's my little perspective of it.
It's always a thing about words with me, man. Need, want, two completely different things. Mm-hmm. And you really don't need a man for too much other than to procreate in life by actual need. That's a requirement in human procreation, male and female. You may want a man for a lot of things, right? I think that's where a lot of times we get confused on some of those things, like you're asking, Gary. To say I don't need a man, I really don't take no issue with that, because if you put that kind of pressure on me, that might turn me off, honestly, to say, I need you, I need this, I need that. You're not my child. You don't really need me for anything, right? You may want me because I'm a good partner. I may give you good support here, but it's differences in them words, always.
And you know, we're real particular about words. So you hear the words, like you hear the words, and we stick to the words. So like you said, if you run off at saying I don't need you, then we start taking away stuff. Like, okay, you don't need me, then I'm gonna take away this. See if you don't need me then. I'm just.
Why do we have to do that? Why do you have to do that though?
Like you said,
if a woman tells you, I don't need you to do that for me, I got it. Why does a man feel some type of way about that?
Because just like in that little chart that I sent, like sometimes we want to associate ourselves with forms of masculinity. So sometimes men want, just like we talk about need and want, men want to be relied upon. Men want to have that position of I am the provider, I am the protector, I am the one who does all these things. So it like Nate said, it's a wordplay thing, but it's that I want this position, and you say you don't need this position, then in my head, that's like offensive. So now I'm gonna take everything that I can offer away to see if I can hurt you.
Yeah.
So let me be a devil's advocate real quickly. Is it a wordplay situation or an ego situation?
I was about to say, is it not ego with that?
Yeah. I have been, if a woman makes more money than you, which happens in nowadays, right? A lot of men don't like that. It's not because we don't need you. It's just because, you know what I mean? You know, I feel like it's an ego situation. I feel like some men have such a big ego that they do not know how to let go of, and they can't accept the fact that a woman is stepping in and kind of helping with that household. So how do y'all feel about that?
I would say that's even more than just ego. That's like a control dynamic, honestly. That's being in a relationship to have somebody really relying on you where they're limited, right? They're limited on what they can do outside of you or without you, right? But if you take away your ego, whatever you want to call it, what does it matter? If your girl making more money than you, cool, we got more bread to spend. But it becomes an issue, I think, for some of those dudes when you're saying, I can actually survive without you, right?
Yeah, I think some people take it as a position of power too. You know, and where there's ego, it's a mindset. I think some people take it as a position of power. I mean, you got some women that abuse that too. They're like, I'm the breadwinner. So it's an attack of an ego. So it's both ways. I think we got to be better in both senses. Like you said, if we both bringing whatever to the household and helping out the household, who cares? Who cares? We both winning. We both progressing. Like we should see the progression instead of how we progress.
And so I typed that I haven't thought about this because like, to Shadai's point, like what she's saying about, you know, the woman making more money than the man, or, you know, just whatever, they have more resources or something like that, they can take care of themselves, right? There's a lot of situations in this country, like as far as our society is concerned, where we're judged by our ability to provide. We're judged by how much we have in our pockets, how much we got on that credit card. And if you can't swipe and pay for my meal, you broke, bye. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get hit with that. And it's like, okay, boom, it's in this control setting. It sounds nice. It sounds like nice. We need to be understanding and we need to, you know, she got more money than us. All that. But when we get out there with the wolves, and it's like you out there and like you in the dating field and you're a guy that, you know, your maturity is not really necessarily there yet, but you're trying to have a pretty girl and you meet a pretty girl, you want to get to know her, you're trying to court her and whatnot, and you don't have the resources to be able to do it right now, you're going to have to take an L because she might embarrass you. You know what I'm saying? She might embarrass you. And I just feel like it's on both sides, because if you're doing that to men and you smashing men like that, you creating the men that's going to go and find somebody that ain't got nothing, they ain't got no money, they weaker, and you're going to stay on top of them. And that's those hurt people you talking about. Hurt people. When I get hurt by that type of woman, it's like, nah, I'm good off that. I don't want that type of woman. She got everything, because now if I go to her, she's gonna end up holding that against me. She's gonna make me feel like I'm less than. Like, cause you're right, it is ego. It is ego, but we could say we need to ditch it, but like, even like in a biblical sense, and we talking about like in the church setting and whatnot, they talk about you gotta pray the ego off of you. Like, it's hard getting that ego off of you. Like, you could say you don't want to have it present, but it goes to work every day. Like, your ego sometimes is what, you know, you'll use for years to be able to get through as a man. Like, you know, it's just the reality of it. So I think it's important when you come together with somebody, and this is anybody coming together, you got to have that understanding of, you know, hey, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help build with you. You know what I'm saying? Side by side versus somebody has to be on top or on bottom, because even if I don't got the bread, like, I can still be there for emotional support that you don't. You know what I'm saying? You may be emotionally struggling, and I'm there for you in that way. But the money situation, it's a lot of ego, but it's still there. No matter, I mean, it's there. I don't know. It ain't no.
It's ego, and then like some people are, like y'all saying, some people see a successful woman, and let's put that out there, a successful Black woman, and they already intimidated by them, like y'all saying. They thinking like, oh, if I even talk to her, she gonna shut me down off the rip just because, you know what I'm saying? First of all, Black women are intimidating to a lot of people, and then now she has money, like, I have no chance. So it's like,
why are Black women intimidating to a lot of people?
No. I'm saying to other people, not to me. No.
I can tell you why.
Real saying, not to me. Hold on.
No, yeah, not to me. I'm saying to the world. to the world, yeah. But I mean, you know, they always say black women have attitudes. Black women have, you know, the look on their face. They don't smile, you know, stuff like that. The world, not Jarrell, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Black women can be direct. Black women can be direct. They're gonna challenge you. They're gonna push you. They're gonna be on it. And that is intimidating to somebody that ain't ready to grow yet. Right. If I'm not ready to grow to that point, I'm gonna shy away from that. I don't want that. I don't want that energy. I need you to chill out. I can't take that. You all on my phone going in. Oh, whoa, hold up. Like, you know what I'm saying? I gotta put this thing. I'm gonna hang up on you. Actually, I'm gonna get back to you when we, you know what I'm saying? Things is cool. No, for real, bro. Cause I've been at that point. Like, I've been at the point where it was like my girl I had, like maybe back in my freshman year in college, she was just so much for me at that time. And I was so immature. And it was like, she was so frustrated because she knew she wanted to pull it out of me, like pull the man out of me, because she was more mature than me at the time. We were the same age. So she was a little more mature on that scale. And she was just trying to constantly get it out. And it was like, I'm not ready. I'm still like a little young dog, little young, you know what I'm saying? Like I was walking on all fours still. She was trying to get me to grow up, and it was a lot. So
for you, do you wish she would have stuck around, or what do guys want females to do when that happens? When you see a guy, he's a good guy, but he's just not where he needs to be right now. Do you expect the female to stick around, or do you be like, all right, like
we expect y'all to stick around, but I would hope, I tell a lot of young women, don't leave, get away from it. Because like you said, we're going to tell y'all what y'all want to hear to keep y'all around, but in our heads, we really not ready. So we're going to keep doing what we're doing. And it's going to take, it could take years. So y'all kind of, at that point, wasting y'all time. So I would say if a guy's like, I'm not ready, get away from him, because he's trying to tell the truth. But if you stay around, he's going to keep you around. And that's the thing.
And I'll say, read the body language of the man, because we a lot more simple than I think it gets put on sometimes. Like we are, somebody says, okay, yeah, we a lot more simple than I think then it's advertised. You know what I'm saying? Like we give you what we're telling you. Like we give you that. Like we that's why y'all know we lying all the time, because we're simple. Like we're not really that complex in regards to like what we showing you and what we thinking. Like if I'm not calling you, if I'm not texting you, I'm probably not that interested in you.
Or I'm interested in a lot of, I am, but I have 3 other people I have to entertain,
Right. So, what's it say about time, Mr. Lifton Go? What you got to say about that?
I was just saying time does 2 things. It either exposes you or it promotes you. Like it exposes you.
Snap.
Yeah. Hard. And I think somebody, I'm thinking about it now, because I'm like, somebody probably listening to this at some point be like, Kirsten, that's why you ain't, you know what I'm saying? But in reality though, like the Marcus saying about time, time is the most valuable asset we have. So if I spend my time with you, that's another thing. If I'm spending my time with you trying to work this out, if I'm spending my time with you trying to show you that I'm trying to, grow, then you need to see that as valuable. Like, because sometimes I can't communicate, the words I want to say to you, but I'm spending my time with you to show you. Like I'm trying to show you. Like, but sometimes I think that that's all I got. That's all we have.
At the same time, I think that in that situation, in a guy's sense, you got to understand like what a woman is doing while she's essentially waiting for you, right? Especially if you got a good woman at that, because 9 times out of 10, you're either going to grow up and want to be in that with her, or you're going to grow up and still go in another direction because you're used to who you were when you were with her. So you may be growing, but you're still not going to be with her. So as a woman, especially as a woman who has been through that, we will peep that, you know what I mean? And we'll just let you know, hey, this ain't it, like I wish the best for you. And guys got to understand, a woman, it's not a woman's job, or she's not supposed to just wait, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of guys don't understand that a woman can leave if she doesn't want to deal with that, because it's a lot when we pour everything into y'all and then y'all don't be ready. We be like, okay,
now we gotta give you purposely to the next.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Yeah, we got that.
You did good. You did good.
No, real talk though. Real talk though. But y'all natural nurturers. Y'all are natural. Y'all natural nurturers though. Like y'all really build things. Like that's what y'all do. You give a woman something and it's gonna get done. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you want something done, give it to a busy woman. So I get it. Like I get it. But every project ain't gonna be your DIY. So if the brother ain't ready, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna have to make something shake, move around. It's gonna happen. That's why I be trying to tell my daughter, like I be trying to talk to my daughter about like real life stuff. You know, even though she's 9, I know she's gonna be getting into that world pretty soon here. And I'm like, man, I'm trying to give her real seeds, real games. That's why I need to have, have this type of dialogue. But yeah, you gotta, it's gonna happen. I mean, you're gonna give your energy to somebody that's not reciprocating that. And that's just part of the game, I guess. And it's the same for fellas. Like we doing the same.
I was about to say, hey, women doing it to men too. So.
You gotta know what you're looking for, dog.
I'm spending money.
That's really simple.
I just went on a date, so he'll pay. I don't like him none. Like, okay.
Good. It's cool. I'm good. I'm good.
I ask young dudes all the time. Like I ask my little brother this, everything. Like, what are you dating for? Right? Like, are you dating to find your one? Are you dating just to enjoy life? Like whatever it is, right? I think that's really the simplest answer in that. If a woman is dating a dude, I feel like a lot of times that situation that we're talking about is a woman is looking for her one, somebody to grow with, somebody to build with. But I wasn't on that at 19. I wasn't on that at 21. I really wasn't on that at like 23, 24. You grow, right?
Yeah. I feel like
so you got to know what's up with you though. Like I think you have to be aware and you have to be honest with people too. You say people a lot of time about being honest. So look, I'm here for a good time, not a long time, whatever it is. Don't lead people down the path of this is going to be something more than what it is, right? Because when you do that, that's how the situation comes about. That's how you start wasting your time.
But essentially, you don't really know.
You know, as a dude.
Sometimes. Not every time.
You mess around and fall in love by accident.
Dudes usually know what they going into it with.
You can fall in love.
In my experience, a dude would tell you or show you. I think some people get caught up in the image of what they appear, or he's a good guy, or whatever. A dude would tell you or show you. But to add to that, fellas, what's the key to maturation for a man then?
Woman. A good woman.
Sometimes it's a good woman, and that can be a big catalyst in it. But the key to maturation is, like you said, DeMarcus, is time, right? You got to go through it and realize at some point it's going to start clicking for you on what you're looking for, right? I think women date potential a little bit more than men do. Probably a lot more, actually, right?
Yeah.
They see, like you saying, oh, I see it's a good dude. Okay, he in school, he doing whatever, cool. I see his trajectory, but I don't actually see his real progress of what's going on right there, right? That progress can be slow sometimes. Sometimes it's really quick. You never know. That's where it comes back to us as men. You have to be honest about what it is that you're looking for in that situation.
My bad. Oh, go ahead. Somebody say something?
No. You can say what you wrote.
Nah. So what I put was women look more for security because I think they're more of a like you said, like they're looking more for that potential. We don't. I have rarely, as coming up in my dating world, and currently I'm still single. I rarely go in just thinking like long term. Like Shanice said, not knowing what it is going into it. I'm still single. I'm not sometimes. Sometimes I just like meeting people. Like I'm just meeting. Like, hey, what's up? You cool? We vibe. Hey, it's cool for right now. And it ain't really like I'm closing myself off though. But I think sometimes I've run into more situations with women where they be knowing what they want. They got the type of man they want. They know what type of house they want. They know what type of car they want, how many kids they want. I'd be like, man. Yeah. Like I'd be like, I be stressed out. I'd be like,
you gotta write the vision, make it plain and clear.
We manifested our man. We just manifested. That's it.
We're on a different time clock. We're on a different time clock too. Y'all got to remember that. Like women think about the clock too.
But okay.
Well, we don't have a clock.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Women when they think about life, when they hit 30, if they wanted to have kids or want to have multiple kids, when they 30-something years old, they probably like, hey man, I'm looking for that man. Dudes probably out here, like you say, we don't have a clock. So sometimes we just living, we don't have that.
That's real.
Or we submerge ourselves in our work or whatever we're into, and then we'll just be in that. And then if we find a woman along the way, it just be like, oh, that's plus. Mm-hmm. But And I feel like there's certain women that think the same way though. I'm not gonna just put that on dudes. I feel like there's women that do the same thing. So, you know, I kind of want to switch gears a little bit. So we got the first topic, and now we're gonna roll into how long, and this is for a heterosexual or a homosexual relationship because we want to respect everybody, you know what I'm saying, situations. So how long can you sustain a loving relationship with someone that can't support you?
What do we mean by support? Let's clarify that first.
When I say support, I mean by financial support. I'm talking about, you know,
I figure that's where we're gonna go with.
No, let's not talk about emotional right now. We can talk about that here in a minute, but let's talk about, you know, somebody that can't, you know, they don't have money, like they are broke. You know what I'm saying? You love this person, but you know that, you know, hey, I'm not gonna say what you know, but they're broke. They ain't got nothing. So how long can you? Yeah, you the one. You gotta take me to work. You know what I'm saying? You got to put all the food in the fridge.
Like all my relationships, my ex relationships.
Okay, so how long you staying there?
If you don't mind us asking.
Wait, what was the question?
How long can you stay or sustain a loving relationship with someone who just can't support you? Like they don't have the ability to financially support you, and they can't really support themselves. But they can't support like you everything.
That's hard. That's a hard one because like the type of woman that I am, if you can't support me financially, then the least you can do is support me in every other aspect, right? So, you know, like for instance, growing up, I see where my dad took care of the money, right? But my mom would like take care of everything else, right? So what that has done to me as a woman, like, you don't have to be the breadwinner. I could be the breadwinner, and that's perfectly fine. So, and I'm okay with that. Just know that when we get married, I need a big old rock on the finger and a big wedding. But now, as far as longevity, you know, I was with somebody for about, I would say 4.5 years. That was like that in my younger days, obviously, young adult days at least. But they were able to at least support me in my passions. If you can't support me financially, if I do art, you don't have to be into art at all, but you should at least support me in that aspect, right? So I feel like if they can find a way to still support you as a person, then you should be able to do it, honestly. But
how long? Is it like years? Is it like 3 years? 5 years?
That was about 3.5 years. Yeah, that was about 3.5 years.
That's the cutoff point for Shadai, 3.5 years.
So I have a question.
I want to hear her.
Oh, okay. I'm about to ask one quick one. You said that big rock on your finger. How you gonna get that?
Yeah, figure it out. That's why 3 years.
Oh, that's why 3 years. That's why 3 years was the end. He couldn't cut the mustard. You gotta get that. Yeah. Okay. Shanice, what you got?
Wait, what was his question?
All right, so I'm gonna stage it again. So, how long can you sustain a loving relationship with someone that can't support you financially?
Oh, yeah, so about Jones' question, but
me. Yeah, I was just asking how you gonna get the ring if you ain't got the money to get that rock to put on her finger.
That's
that's your question.
Yeah, but no.
You make it happen. What's not clicking, Steven?
You see what I'm saying? Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, personally, me, no, like I'm not staying with no guy that cannot support me financially since, you know, I grew up in a house where definitely the men were the breadwinner. Not saying like my mom didn't come through, like she had her own business and she was a registered nurse. She got her degrees, all that. So she wasn't like just a stay-at-home mom, but she was able to stay at home and do like her personal business on the side. So personally, I wouldn't want to stay with the man that cannot support me financially. Like, we'll like talk maybe for play, but we're not going to get married. We're not doing nothing serious if you cannot support me financially.
Ooh.
And it's not even like you got to make more money than me, but you need to be able to support like just little things that I need. Cause like of course I can take care of myself, but like men say, you want us to want you for something. Okay, well step in your role, step up. Like, I'm not staying with no guy that cannot support it. Like, no, bye.
But you know, I think I'm gonna have to agree with you because like my situation I told y'all about, like my situation, he wasn't broke. he still made money. He doesn't make anywhere as close to what I was making. You know what I mean? So I feel like women can deal with you if you're trying and you're bringing something to the table. But the issue is when you ain't bringing nothing to the table, or you're lazy, you know what I mean? Because you know that you're being supported by somebody else. I think that is where everything changes.
Okay, see, that's the good point. That's exactly what I was kind of thinking about. That sounds like, are we asking people to date bums or like?
Okay, like,
Yeah,
is this
'cause,
an
like, dating isn't
auction?
taking
Hold
any
up, man.
dependence,
Hold
bro.
up, man. Hold up.
We auctioning off the bottom of the barrel bums? Like, no.
No.
Okay,
Out of
McDonald's,
here.
McDonald's. I mean, he working, but he getting $8.25 an hour, man. Like, he working.
No, right now, no.
Hey, I'm pushing it. We
$10.
don't want a bum. No.
I've never worked at McDonald's. I'm sorry. $10, I guess.
My son work at McDonald's. They paying 11. They got extra dollars.
Okay, big enough.
I think people should date in their pay raise.
Agreed.
Ooh. So
Like, how about that? If you're
transactional to
dating your
you?
pay raise, you're not gonna feel like you're above or below anyone. You're gonna feel just right. So you're gonna be like, okay, like let's see where we can go from here, because it's not like a competition. And then you know that person can take care of themselves, just like you know you can take care of yourself. But yeah, I wouldn't be like in corporate world dating somebody at McDonald's. Like, no, it's not gonna work out.
Can we put a number on it? Oh, go ahead.
Ask the question one more time. I want to pick through it. Ask the question again.
How long can you sustain a loving relationship with someone that can't financially support you?
Okay, so you love somebody, right? You at the point of loving them, and like both of y'all talked about earlier, with potential. You accidentally fall in love with somebody, or you entertain them so long, you put some time in, you love them, you find out they're not financially secure. You already have that love as action. You know what I'm saying? You already have that love for that person. I'm not saying marriage, you know, because marriage is a different step. But you already love that person. You want to see them grow, but you just don't see them progressing, or I don't know, they don't have the it factor. But you already love that person. Now how long do you stay with that one? We talking about dating and finding people, and if you already love them, say they lost their job and they go through a depression, and you don't know how long the depression gonna last. But you love that person. How long are you staying with that person?
That's tough.
Let me ask a question. Was this person making money and bringing something to the table before this depression?
Yeah, he lost their job. Yeah. They had a good job.
I would stick with my person. I would stick with my person, help them get on their feet, just because that's the type of person I am. But also at the end of the day, like, I'm not doing that for 2 years. I honestly ain't doing it for a year. You got about 6 months to go get a job. You got 3 months to make sure you get a job and bring home some money to pay these bills. Like, you know, people get comfortable, you know? Does that kind of answer your question?
3 months to get the same paying job, or just a job?
A good job.
Honest. Good job. You gotta get some money, bro.
McDonald's. No.
Shanice like, you better get that whole job back. The whole job.
I need that.
You got 2 days.
She
gone already.
Like, he need to go do Forex or something. I don't know, but he need to bring
okay, like.
Here, I was like, I don't know which way.
You better go do something.
Where I'm at.
I said, I don't know which way Shanice is on the screen, but she be holding it. She holding it.
Nah, Shanice will tell you though. She, you know what I'm saying? Hey, but you know what though? Once they lose that job, we gotta get them hooked up with Shanice and then get them on that trading tip. So get them on that trading tip. So they
can't be broke.
Can't be broke.
You at least gotta be working towards something.
But I want to add. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say also for your question, like, to a lot of women, if you can't get yourself together, you do become unattractive in a way. And that changes the whole dynamic of the relationship too. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, if you're not trying and you can't bring money or whatever, like, you may become unattractive to us. We may not be interested no more.
And then you always asking me for money. Now
I'm
you're like, your sugar mama? No.
That's completely understandable. That's, again, dating bums. Let's put some numbers on it, right? If woman is, you said your mom was, I don't want to misspeak, a nurse or something, right? If she's making good money, right? Your mom is CEO, anything like that, right? The woman is bringing in 100 racks a year. The dude will bring in 45, 50 a year. That's still above average. He can't financially support you with what you're making, but I do love calling boys boys. But when we talking like real numbers about it though, right? To say someone who can't financially support you versus someone who's contributing, right? I think I'm hearing y'all say like, if you're trying to contribute, it's cool, but you're not really being financially supported if there's unequal pay. If it's not, comparable pay, to me that says, am I going to work? Can you go stay at home with the newborn or something? Can you, like you said with your mom, Shanice, can you go and focus on your business on the side, do whatever, right? And have one income that supports everyone. That's what it sounds like to me on that question, right? So where do y'all fall on that?
I don't see the issue if I'm making 100, whatever, and he's bringing 45, 50, or she bringing 45, 50. If I'm with you, you was bringing that into the table, right? So what's the problem at this point? You know what I mean? Like, you're still contributing, because I'm pretty sure we still have between us a system to where you pay this, I pay this, whatever it is, right? So I don't think there's any issue with that whatsoever.
Okay.
I want to add a fundamental principle to all of this. And I get that, we want to have that reciprocation, and we want people to be able to bring that energy where it's like, okay, I'm taking care of this, you take care of this and all that. But when you kind of predestine how much you want somebody to have coming into it, I feel like you set yourself up to be bought. All right. And this is the deal, if you could be bought, you could be owned. So every time we get in these situations where these women end up feeling like, they're stuck in these situations, they can't get out of it. A lot of times, I own you, girl. I bought everything. That's how dudes feel. Like, they feel like I paid for this. You know what I'm saying? I paid for, like, your job, like whatever you got going on. You knew that what I had, I brought to the table. I make 6 figures or whatever, and that's what you wanted. And I got you this nice fly car and all this, like, like y'all said before, the reason why the feminist movement was important was because of the women's rights and being able to say they're equal and being able to have the same opportunities. So it's like, if you have more opportunities now today than women had back in the gap, then I think for me, looking, at a partner, a potential partner, it's like, how are you attacking those opportunities you have now? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you going out and trying to make something of yourself? That's the women I see value in, the ones that's like really trying to like maximize their worth in this country. You know what I'm saying? Like, trying to do stuff for themselves, like push themselves, and they can push me, because eagles fly together. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like, I'm not finna be bringing you up with me and you way down here, you like a pigeon. Like, no, I'm gonna move around. Like, an eagle gonna vibe with me. If what's up, Marcus? What you got on your mind? I see you in the face.
He gave you the eye.
Yeah, you gave me the eye.
But
eagles gonna fly together is what I'm saying, though. If I get linked up with somebody that ain't really on that vibration, they're not really ready to go to that level, it's gonna show itself. Like, I'm gonna have to go ahead and move around. It's the natural occurrence of life. Like, we're gonna have to keep on passing like 2 ships in the night, because you ain't there yet. And the same for a woman with a man. Like, you meet a man, you think he's attractive, you think he's smart, you think he's kind, but he broke and he ain't got no drive and he don't want nothing from his life, then you gonna keep on moving. Like, it's just, and if you get latched up with one, it's gonna be a harder separation, but it's gonna happen.
It ain't hard.
It ain't hard.
It ain't hard.
Well, maybe it ain't hard for everybody, but Shanice, somebody made you like that, though. Shanice, somebody made you like that. I've been there before. But man, we've been kind of rolling on these topics though. But let's kind of transition up. So here we go. What do we think? And ladies, this is for y'all, right? What is I don't need a man culture doing to or for the family dynamic? What is y'all thoughts on that? Because nothing. Do tell.
I don't.
It's helpful.
And here's why I say that. Women don't need a man. They do not need a man, right? I'm in a relationship and it ain't with a man. I don't need a man, right? At the end of the day, I don't think that's what's hurting family dynamics. It's the men ain't nothing. Men ain't, you know what I mean? That is what affects the family dynamic, because you have mothers who, because they have this mentality that men ain't whatever, they don't want to bring the baby around the dad, or, well, like, I don't feel like the idea of I don't need a man is affecting the family dynamic at all. I think it's other variables that affects that dynamic.
Well, Cage, what do you think the man ain't nothing dynamic is doing, basically, because that's kind of what we were trying to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely affects it because again, like men have ego, men are masculine. Y'all are made to be masculine, right? And so when women have that connotation and they steadily hit you with that you ain't this, you ain't that, whatever, that affects y'all at the end of the day, and that affects your children, right? Especially if a woman is showing that around her child, right? So I feel like it does kind of break a family's dynamic completely when a woman goes into a relationship with that mentality.
That's what I think. I think it has a residual effect on the family. Like you take the male and the female part, and you delete one from the family dynamic. We talking about the family now. We talking about parents and kids. You take one part away from that dynamic, of course it's gonna hurt it. I don't care if you take the female part away or the male part away, or the feminine or masculine part away. Like if you take that part away, it's definitely gonna hurt it. And we have seen the residual effects of that just in our economy. Just look around, like one parent homes, all of this shattered relationship, these toxic relationships, they like she said earlier, hurt people, and now you got hurt kids that grow up into hurt people, and we need trauma counseling. Like we have been traumatized in a way that we don't even realize.
Shanice, what you think?
So I remember I was telling you the other day, I got into it on Facebook almost about kind of this situation, and it was a lot of men on there commenting basically like, if women say you don't need the man, then that's of course going to make them feel like, all right, well, forget it. I'm gonna go to a female that says they need me, that, is going to say caring and kind words. So it goes back to the ego thing where it's like, what you say is basically going to get stuck in like somebody's head. So you just talk kindly. Like, I'm not going to tell a man I don't need him. Like, I might say something else if it's something else that's hurting me. It's rather than like, you should be direct with what's hurting you and just saying like, I don't need you. Like, just be direct with what's going on. So then maybe it could help the man like understand and make it click. But, I ain't never been married and definitely single. So it's like, what do I know?
I think you onto something though. I think you onto something because, like you said, you have to be careful about how you use your words. And I know that women get the rap for being sensitive and whatnot, but newsflash, everybody, every man got feelings. Like every man has feelings. All right, it's like there are things that are going to hurt us, like facts. And some men respond differently. So you could say certain things to one man and he will run. You know what I'm saying? Like he will run and he'll be missing. And that's where you get like, these baby mamas that get spiteful and they go ham on their baby daddy. It's like, man, I'm out. They can't handle it. They're fragile. You know what I'm saying? They were raised by one parent and they never had a strong man in their life anyway. So they're like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do it. And I'm not saying that every situation that's like that is like that for every person, but there are situations like that. So it's like, I think the male influence, as far as I don't need a man culture, the male influence for a family is important.
Oh yeah, both of them are important.
Yes, the woman, yes, but just specifically what we're talking about, I don't need a man culture. The male influence is important. If you have a child in a relationship, they need somebody around this, like a male, just to be there. Just sometimes, just come in or whatever, like they need that. Because both, you need both, because that balance is important. It helps me understand myself. It helps me better understand myself. And if you running off the only man around because of your selfish, whatever you got going on in your mind, your hurt heart, you torn up and you just want to run a man off, then to me, that's selfish. That's a selfish situation right there. You making that about you. It ain't about you. It's about the babies. The babies are here and they need that. It's not about you. Like, yeah, he cheated. And so what? Co-parent. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what people do. I'm in the same situation. Like my brother, we be talking about all the time because I think it's important. Like baby daddies, baby mamas, y'all get together and talk to each other about how you communicate with your co-parent, because running them off ain't the move. The kids need both. The family dynamic really needs both.
And another thing, Carrie, like I used to say, like the kid sees how y'all talk to each other. You know, so if you can co-parent and respect each other, that's a relationship that they're gonna pay attention to. They see mom and dad respecting each other. Now, when they grow up, they know like, hey, I need to treat this woman like this, or the young lady know, hey, I don't need to talk to that man like that. Because you know, my mom and dad, even though they were not together, they show respect.
Right.
And that's gonna be a relationship that they really gonna pay attention to, their mom and dad. You know, so together or not together, just try to show love, show respect to each other. So.
Can I loop it back to the bums that we were talking about though?
Yes, Nate.
Because I feel like a lot of times.
Let's get back on these bums. Let's get back on
That's what
these
it
bums.
need to be. I don't need
Like,
a
we talk about
bum.
the
Like, right, because people like what Jarrell just said, it's my exact same situation. My parents divorced when I was like 6 or 7 years old. I ain't never seen my mom and my pops argue in my life, honestly. I ain't never seen them have nothing bad to say about each other. It's always been what's best for me growing up, right? They communicate, they work together, and they do it for me at the end of the day. I feel like a lot of times what we're saying, this is me with no baby mama, no kids, no nothing like that. But I think what we're talking about is dudes who really bumming it out here. Like, not just on the financial side, you're just a bum in your actions. Like, your energy is bummy, bro. Because I don't need that around, right? If you really a bad dude, I really don't need that around me or my kid, right? It's some people, it's dudes I know, like, I wouldn't take my kids around you. I don't want my kids to see that kind of that energy being put out in the world, right? So that, I don't know if it's necessarily negative. I don't really think though that women are telling that to good dudes all the time. I don't think good dudes are going through it could be not all the time, right?
Not all
Now,
Women don't
not
know
all
what's
the
a
time.
good dude. You don't have to rip like that's a good dude or not. Like,
Oh, that's
you're
a
just
whole
going
nother
off the flow.
conversation, though. That's a whole nother conversation. I completely agree with women don't know what's a good dude. But
Oh, Lord.
I agree.
But Nate, to what you saying though, I agree with everything you said until you said that women aren't just telling good dudes that
no, I'm not
you
saying
can't
that
be
it
around.
never happens, though. I'm not saying that never happens. I'm saying
It's
I don't think
frequent.
the majority of the time
It's
that's
frequent.
really what it is, though.
It's
Bro.
frequent, bro. It's frequent.
If
You know
they
why?
hurt, if they hurt, they don't care who it is. If the
They don't
dude,
care.
they call
bro, you getting got,
Shots
bro.
fired.
You get got, bro.
But
Unload, man.
but
You cheated, boy. You cheating.
But no,
Like,
it's a lot of cases though. It's a lot of cases where moms do like moms getting away from bad situations to save their kids too. So I get what you're saying, Nate. But yeah, some hurt women are gonna be like, I don't care how you can call the kid every day. Declined. Like
No, of course, it can definitely happen on that. So I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I just think a lot of it comes from, end of the day, is what did you do to contribute to that situation, right?
Yeah.
Boom.
bro, Nate, I love that Nate's so like contrasted to me about how he sees things. That's why like it works. And I just want to say that for the guys out there that's not doing what you got to do, right? Because we have people that's listen to us, all different kinds of people, right? If you listen to us and you don't do what you're supposed to do, there's a solution, right? And the solution is figure your stuff out, you know what I'm saying? And be understanding. Like empathy, I feel like is the main issue that in these situations we talking about is where now you got somebody telling you, I don't need you, right? I don't need you for this. I don't need you that. Because they don't feel like you understand their situation. You don't understand the fact that this woman is literally cooking, cleaning, working 2 jobs, picking the kids up from school. She's, making sure they emotionally well. And then you want to get visitation and just show up on Saturday and pick your son up, take him to the jump park, and then bring him back home and think you do it being a dad. Like, but
you forgot take pictures and put it on social media.
Yeah, take the pictures. Don't forget about the pictures. But it's like, bro, but also the other side of it though, Nate, is like some men just don't know how to do it. Like if you feel like you doing something and you saw nothing, like your examples or your circle is all doing the same stuff. Sometimes you have that assimilation of mindset. Like you just your mindset becomes just like your environment. It's your environment will consume you before, anything else. Like you would just adopt how you think you're supposed to act because, okay, this is better than my friends, better than my daddy was. I must be doing all right. Nah, bro, you're not doing all right because your kids are suffering and your baby mama hates your guts. Like it's like you're not doing all right, bro. But it's like we need
awareness to me though, right, bro? That's to me, and this is me with no kids speaking. If you, the day you find out, the day you get that late text that I think I'm late text, like Wayne said,
Yeah.
something should click, bro. Go figure
No,
something out.
everybody don't click. Everybody don't click.
Everybody don't click, but it should. That's all.
It should.
Should. You look, you had enough awareness to, or maybe you didn't. Maybe you didn't know what was about to happen. You screwed up. You got to start figuring it out at some point, though, right? Because really, like we always talk about, it's for the babies. Out of sight, out of mind. Okay, DeMarcus.
Marcus, speak on that. Speak on that, DeMarcus. What you about to say? What you mean about that?
Terrell knows this. Like we've heard it in our own family. Like
Straight up.
there's a lot of guys, good guys, bad guys. They got guys that are taking care of other families because it's out of sight, out of mind. You take it away from me. I don't see it. I don't put it in my peripheral, my vision. I take care of what's in front of me. Out of sight, out of mind. So there's a lot of things. I think it all goes back to like the family dynamic, because a family dynamic creates your identity. Like what Nate was saying with awareness, it creates your identity. When you create your identity, then you move forward in life. Just like what Carrie was saying, if everybody around me is doing this, and I feel like I'm doing a step better than them, that's a part of my identity. That's all I know. So that's what I do. So there's a lot of things that come with that. There's a lot of miseducation. There's a lot of misplaced love, misplaced feelings. Man, we are so messed up sometimes that we don't know how screwed up we are, and then we pass it down to the kids. Like you gotta think. Like I literally know people that take care of other families and are great guys. Do not take care of their own biological kids, and their biological kids are screwed up.
Bro, that's crazy. That's crazy to me when they do that. I be seeing it on Facebook. I be like, bro, this ain't your family, and you doing so well. Like I see all these pictures. Like y'all got matching onesies. Like your son, bro, your son, literally. Like I just saw him across like the other day, like wilding. Like you know what I'm saying? It just be like, like that's crazy to me. Anyway, I'm sorry.
I just saw that with the Williams sisters. I saw somebody tweet about that yesterday. Like the Williams dad has like 5 other kids or something like that nobody ever talks about, anything like that. The girls get asked like if you talk to them or not. But I mean, I get you on out of sight, out of mind. I would just ask, how did it get out of sight? Was it willful? Was it taken away from you? And if it was taken away from you, is it something that you did to make that your consequence that you end up incurring?
That takes to a lot of situations, man. I know, I'm pretty sure we all know, like 2 people get together, move too fast and procreate, and then next thing you know, they don't even really know each other. You know, they find out they know each other. It's like, yeah, you're not working for me.
Unfortunately.
It happens.
Be like that.
That's part of miseducation too. Like I talk to my son a lot, man, like about just life decisions and the weight of the decision. Like one decision may not affect the rest of your life, but the other will. And you make a decision with a young lady, young man, whatever, like and misplace what you feel is love or whatever, and don't take everything that goes with that. And you basically, sex is an expression of love, so you're expressing the love, and it's like I said, it's misplaced. And if it starts being misplaced, then you got a domino effect of a whole bunch of things that can happen.
It becomes toxic.
Yeah, it becomes toxic.
That's the word.
It becomes, she's like, that's the word, toxic. Nah, it can be like that for sure. And I just feel like too, you know, we can be, I think like somebody said about setting those expectations of what you got going on, those intentions going into relationships and whatnot, because I think, you know, there's a lot of exploration that, you know, it takes throughout life to do with the opposite sex, like, or even with the same sex, whatever, relationships. Like to be in a relationship with somebody, you're gonna have to explore like a lot. Like I was told that for men specifically, we like literally go through the maturation process every time we have a new relationship. Like you start over. Like you literally are starting over every time you have a brand new relationship, because this woman is going to bring different experiences to the table. And she's going to bring a different mindset. And a lot of times you have to like break yourself against like old paradigms and things like that. And I just feel like the women are so much more vast in regards to like all of the stuff going on within their minds than us sometimes. when it comes to like the complexity of like their emotions and how they developed them. Bro, we didn't talk when we were at the park, bro. We ran. Like we ran around and we punched each other. You know what I'm saying? Like we talked about this before. Like for real, bro. We used to play open chess. That was what boys were trying to do. Like women was talking. Like y'all was chopping it up. Y'all had games where y'all talked about stuff. So I just feel like the development is just, to meet in the middle, it just takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of understanding. It takes a lot of patience, you know. And then but it's important though. Whether that be on any type of relationship front, it's important because once you bring a unity together, then everything just becomes so much better. You know what I'm saying?
I think nowadays it's so hard though, because they have like social media. Like I think back in the day, it was so much easier because you didn't have all these options to compare it to. Now it's like, oh, well, I want my relationship to look like that. And their relationship ain't even like that. That's just
relationship goals.
So now it's like you really don't even know what you really want, and then you keep comparing it to what you see everybody else have, and it's just like a forever, never-ending toxic like circle. So it's like, oh, I want that. And you try to get that don't work. And you try to get the next one, that don't work. Like, no, figure out what you want, write down a piece of paper, do your Sierra prayer, and call it a day.
Before you figure out what you want, figure yourself out too.
Identity.
There's an old cliche that we done all heard. Before you can learn to love somebody else, you got to learn to love yourself.
Yeah. True. That's a fact.
Is that back to the feminists where they're like, I don't need a man, like, because they got they self? I remember in that article, whoever sent that article earlier was like, at the bottom, it was talking about some like finding yourself. And that's a huge thing for women. In order to be in a relationship, they really need to understand who they are and what they want. So it's difficult for females nowadays to really, I feel like, find the perfect guy.
Yeah.
But it's not even just like finding yourself. Part of finding yourself is facing your past and your own trauma as well, whether you're a male or a female, right? Like anything that you have been through. And in our community, in the Black community, we don't do that enough. We don't, like you said, Mr. Lipton Go, we don't do counseling, right? Like families need that. Like people have been through generational curses, as we like to say it, that they need to heal from. And that's also part of that self-love journey too.
Yeah, I agree with for sure. Just us healing. Cause like when you talk about, you know, with us Black people, we got a lot that we got to unpack. Always, we got to continue as a collective. And then there's also, when you're a woman, there's a gender inequality that you got to, you know, make sure that you're not bringing, you know, we not bringing our own experiences only, but we are making sure we have a full understanding as men. Like I know I got to make sure I'm like, okay, like this world's not the same for you as it is for me. So let me be understanding that your aggression may not be what I did. It may just be how the situation has been, and you just bringing that to me. And let me just be understanding. Let me not fight fire with fire, right? So I think that's important. And man, that's why it's such a blessing to have y'all ladies come out here, grace the platform. Y'all did amazing. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? We thankful for it. Yes. And then
and more men need to think like that, Carrie. More men need to think like that. Some men will be in a situation and they just take it and run with whatever their thought is, right? Like, I think it's fair to say everyone on this panel that's on this, you know, here, they're older. Y'all are, you know, mentally more mature than a lot of men are. And so a lot of men are not mature, and it's either by will or by skill, right? So I think you're definitely correct on that. And they need to listen to these type of podcasts. They need to learn these things because, again, family dynamic, some men don't have a man mentor in their life, right? So these are those type of podcasts that these men need to hear. So keep doing your podcast, keep it going. I think it's helping in general.
Absolutely.
Bully the bums out of your life.
Here we go. Bully the bums out. Then he freezes up.
We're leaving all bums this year.
Man, no bum season. No bum season.
Bum
but
2022.
Yeah.
I don't need a bum.
Right. So on that note, I appreciate y'all tapping in with us, man. It's been a blessing. It's been great. Y'all be light, and we out.
Thank you, Carrie. Love y'all.
Yeah, appreciate y'all. All right. Let me see if I can.
Hey, while we still live on YouTube, screw the Cowboys. Go Astros.
That boy.
What else can I say?
Go
That's all I
Lakers.
got for y'all.
Gang,
Go
gang,
Lakers.
gang.
Go
Go
Braves. Go Braves over at it.
Are the Cowboys winning?
Hey,
No,
look,
it's 7-3.
7-3.
All right. Well,
Who scored the 7?
Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
Hey, you got me.
Y'all did great, man.
Yeah, y'all did that. Thank y'all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Harry, I want to talk more with you about how you like started your podcast because I'm very interested in starting a podcast for Queen Posse.
Yeah.
So I'd love to kind of connect with you and kind of, learn more about that.
Let's
You know
have
how
a
we
sit down.
started? You want to
It's a
know the
little
story?
link though, too, I think.
You want to know the story how we started?
What do you say?
You want to know the story how we started?
Yeah, I do. Go ahead, tell me how y'all
He
started.
called me on a random Thursday and said, "Hey, Jarrell, I want to do a podcast." I say, when so I can get prepared. He said, "Today."
Yes, that's clear.
Yeah. And we started that day
And we
too.
started that night, and it was terrible. I ain't gonna lie, first 3 episodes.
Yeah,
Don't
look
watch
back at the beginning.
Don't watch
it was pretty trash, but it was so bad. DeMarcus wanted to hop on too to be able to help us out. He's like, let me go ahead and get in the conversation so we can add to this trash podcast you got going on. Let me make sure my brother ain't getting embarrassed out you. So but we could talk about it, Shadai. We could sit down, because this is a lot that went into
There's
it.
more water in there.
It's been 2 years now. It's about 2 years now, and since then, Mr. Lift and Go and Nate jumped in and added a lot of value, and we rolling. So we love to collaborate with Queen Posse for sure. That's why I tell Shanice and telling you on the phone, doing great stuff for the community is, it's a mission. We, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel like you got that mission to serve, we got to do it by any means.
Yeah, we should definitely do that. And since you went to Heights, I definitely want to get with the people there and have like a mental week for the high school students too.
I'm a teacher at Heights. I'm a teacher at Heights.
We gotta chop it up.
Yeah, we gotta chop it up.
We still live?
Yeah, we still. Bro, go ahead and smash out, bro. Go ahead and smash out. Yeah, we'll link up, y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'm glad we came together, had a great podcast.